Good afternoon. It's Thursday, August 30th. This is Mason Votes Election Update. I'm Shane Smith, and we are 68 days away from the presidential election. Let's begin where we last left off. All eyes are on Tampa, where the Republican Party is wrapping up its national convention. The event had been postponed earlier in the week due to bad weather coming from what is now Tropical Storm Isaac. Things got underway on Tuesday with the procedural business being taken care of first. The Republicans voted to approve the party's platform, and the more memorable part of the day came in prime time with speeches from Mitt Romney's wife, Ann Romney, and the keynote address delivered by Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey. Both speeches were highly anticipated and in the end were well received by those in attendance. Mrs. Romney painted a picture of her husband that many voters have been asking to see. She spoke about him as a father, her high school sweetheart, and a hard worker. She made the case that Americans can trust him, saying, "This is the man America needs. This man will not fail." Following her was Governor Christie, who took a different approach. He spoke about the broader dysfunction in the Washington, D.C. and the political leadership that has been displayed the last 4 years. He argued that Mitt Romney would lead a stronger economic recovery and argued that Mitt Romney would tell hard truths. He slammed the Democrats in their plan for America's economy, saying their plan is to whistle a happy tune while driving off the fiscal cliff. One of Governor Christie's more critical shots came when he attacked the president's leadership. He said, "You see, Mr. President, real leaders don't follow polls. Real leaders change polls." The attacks on the president were just the beginning. Last night, it was Paul Ryan's turn to take the podium and officially accept the vice presidential nomination for the Republican Party. For many conservatives, Ryan's speech was more anticipated than the one Mitt Romney is set to give tonight. Congressman Paul Ryan touched on many of the issues he disagrees with the president on. He talked about repealing the health care law, which has been referred to by many as Obamacare. He spoke about the need to rein in spending and pledged that a Romney-Ryan administration would create 12 million jobs in 4 years. One of Ryan's biggest moments came when speaking about college students in America and the impact the bad economy has had on them. He said, millions of young people have graduated from college during the Obama presidency, ready to use their gifts and get moving in life. Half of them can't find the work they studied for, or any work at all. His speech was well received, gaining praise from those in attendance and in conservative news circles, and Democrats on the left called his convention speech misleading. At the end of the day, the only speech that really matters is the one coming from Mitt Romney in prime time tonight. Later on in the show, I will share my thoughts on what Mr. Romney must do tonight to make his nomination speech one for the history books. Earlier this week, Mason had a very special guest visit the Fairfax campus. Ann Holton, former First Lady of Virginia and wife of former Governor Tim Kaine, toured Mason as a part of her 3-day college swing across the state as she highlighted the importance of young people registering to vote and the importance of STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. We were lucky enough to catch up with Ms. Holton for a quick interview. Here it is.
Vote? Would you like to get registered to vote? Oh, good, great. Come help these guys.
On Tuesday, August 28th, Ann Holton, the wife of former Virginia Governor Tim Kaine, made a stop at George Mason's Fairfax campus to encourage students to register to vote, but also to talk about her husband's views on the issues. The main focus of her visit to Mason was to highlight the STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. As governor, her husband worked to develop 9 career and technical education academies and opened 5 workforce development centers across the state. Holton started her tour at the Krasnow Institute for Advanced Study, where she was shown around the building, meeting students, professors, and even some of the research that was being conducted at the facility. Making her way to Student Union Building 1, Holton was greeted by Mason's College Democrats out at the Quad.
Very committed to education and wants to help work in the Senate to support education generally and absolutely STEM science education in particular. I had the opportunity today to tour the new building at the Krasnow Institute for Advanced Study that my husband helped build by passing the bond package in 2008. In very, very tough political circumstances, they were able to pass a bond package and fund new science buildings and other education buildings all across the state. And he's very proud of it, and it was terrific to get to see the amazing research and work that's going on at the Krasnow Institute here.
Her stop at Mason was a part of her 3-day college tour through the state. She has previously toured Tidewater Community College in Norfolk State and Hampton Roads. This is Shane Smith with Mason Votes, reminding you to be aware, get educated, and vote. Thanks for staying with us. President Obama this week was on a college tour of his own, making stops in Ames, Iowa, and Colorado. While in Ames, President Obama took some time out of his schedule to hold a phone press conference with college media. I was fortunate enough to be on the call. The president spoke at length about the clear choice in this election. He also spoke about the notion that the young vote of 18 to 29-year-olds won't be as high as it was in 2008. But he shared a feeling of optimism. He talked about the enthusiasm he sees in young people all around the country at many of the college campuses he's visited. President Obama talked about the influence that the voice of young people has had in today's debate over the issues facing them. He ran down a list of accomplishments that he has made, but would not have been able to if young people didn't stand up and speak out. Accomplishments such as ending the war in Iraq, ending the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, and making sure Congress acted in time to keep student loan interest rates from doubling. I want to thank the President for allowing us to join the call. This election is going to be close. The young vote came out in support of the President in 2008, but there are some signs of timidity and signs that Mitt Romney may be able to pick up some of those disenchanted young voters from 2008. The President made it clear in the press conference, however, that he is not giving up on young people and that he will, as he said, continue to work hard so that young people can succeed. Stay tuned to the Mason Votes election update. We will be right back. Let me end by going back to Tampa. Tonight is the final night of the Republican National Convention. There are many more speakers and many performances to come. However, all eyes will be on Mitt Romney as he takes the podium to deliver his nomination acceptance speech. He is being introduced by Senator Marco Rubio of Florida and is tasked with delivering a speech that appeals not only to conservatives, but independents as well. He will most likely be compared to the speech his vice presidential running mate, Congressman Paul Ryan, gave yesterday. But here's what I think Mitt Romney must focus on tonight. He can't come across as stiff and uptight. He has to show that he can connect with middle-class people and show them that he understands the struggles they face every morning when they wake up. He has to be specific on policy. There is no more time for broad generalizations. This is his biggest audience, and if he shares specifics on his 59-point plan and makes a case for his policies, he has a chance to move the needle. Finally, he has to show us who he is, telling us kinds of stories his wife Ann shared Tuesday night, many on the right feel that we don't know the man, Mitt Romney. He has the American people tonight and he has to speak to the American people tonight and tear down the wall that he's put up between his policy rhetoric and personal life. It is no secret to Mr. Romney, his campaign, or the American people that his likability has taken a hit in the polls. He can flip those numbers tonight, however, by showing us a softer and looser side. You can see Mr. Romney's speech tonight on any of the major networks online. He is scheduled to speak during the 10 p.m. hour. A quick programming note, we will be back on Thursday, September 13th, bringing you a full rundown of what took place at the Democratic National Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, and much more. And before we go, I want to thank Professor Tomasevic's Com 399 class for joining us in studio today. And as always, I'm Shane Smith for Mason Votes. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to be aware, get educated, and vote.